Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Angie, and on this channel I like to do money, finance videos, vlogs and lifestyle kind of content as well. If that is something that you are interested, please consider subscribing. Anyway, in today's video we are looking at organizing my fridge and my pantry. So if you are new here, I moved into a new house about just under a month ago. And because we've been living in here for a little bit of time now, I've kind of organized what I can, but there are some things in the fridge and the pantry that need to be done a little better. So I'll show you what I have so far. So my pantry is actually not that bad. So I've organized it, I think, pretty well. Like I've got a lot of jars and things. Just down there is a little bit messy. Like the snack and biscuit area could be better. And my fridge at the moment, there's just no kind of system or organization in my fridge. Like stuff kind of just gets thrown everywhere. So that's what we're going to be looking at organizing today. I did go to Kmart and pick up a few things, which I'm going to head into my office and I'm going to show you now. Okay, so I went to Kmart this morning and I picked up just a couple of things. Like I said, I don't need too much organization, but there are some things that definitely need to be fixed. In our pantry, we get a lot of like biscuits and cookies and stuff, and often they're just left in the package and put Glad wrap around them. But what I find is that they go stale super quickly and we end up throwing them out like when they don't need to be. So I picked up a jar for biscuits and cookies. I also picked up for the fridge a dairy container, a meat container, as well as I already have a little container for yogurt. So I'm gonna make these and show you how to use the Cricut Joy. So today I'm gonna be using the Cricut Joy, and that is this little guy right here. I love this because it's super compact, easy to use, and it doesn't take up too much space, which I think is really important in my house because while we do have a bigger house, there isn't a huge amount of storage. The other things I'm going to need for today are my scraper here. So this helps to adhere the vinyl to whatever kind of material that you're using. I'm using glass and acrylic. The other thing that I'm going to be using today is this little picker. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but it's like a really fine needle. And so you use this to pick the adhesive off after it has been cut. The other things that I'm going to be using are some adhesive vinyl. I'm actually going to be using black today. So it is this one here. So it is called the Smart Vinyl, and this one is writable, but I'm not going to write on it just because I want something that's really easy to read and like a bold color like black. I'm also going to be needing the transfer tape as well for one of my projects. Okay, so to connect your Cricut Joy, you do just need to go into your Bluetooth, make sure that it is all connected. And then once you have got your project already, like you saw mine before, you need to go back into the app and select the project that you would like to work on. I'm going to do the dairy project. To start a project, you just have to click on the green plus sign, click on text. I'm going to type in dairy because that is the label that I want to make. I'm then going to adjust the size, so the width and the length. I'm also going to turn the label around so then it is vertical because that's the way that I want the Cricut to cut it. You can also do horizontal if you wish. So I'm just doing the last little bits of sizing. Now, the text that I'm going to use is actually a free one on the Cricut app. So you can go into settings and do some of the filters. So you can click free if you just want a free font. The one that I'm going to use is actually called Cricut Sans. And I think that this looks super classic, nice and readable as well. Really good for the fridge. And then you have to press Make It. And you have to select your materials. So I'm using without a mat because it is the Cricut Smart label. So if the label has Smart on it, it means that it does not need one of these cutting mats. Otherwise, if it doesn't say that, you are going to need one of these. Stick it on and then just slide it into the Cricut Joy. So I'm gonna select the without matte option, press confirm. So it just tells me what materials I need. So I need the fine point blade, which I have done. I've loaded my material into the machine. Okay, so now that I have inserted the material into the Cricut Joy, so it has just been cut. I'm not sure if the camera's going to be able to pick it up, but oh, there you go. There you can see it. You can also see the reflection of everything. So there is my dairy. Now what I'm going to have to do, and do it really carefully, is just to pick it out. So because you cannot use transfer tape on this particular thing, you're going to need to use really steady hands. So I'm going to do one letter at a time, and I'm going to pick it off and put it on my container. So I have finished. This is my dairy container. I'm just going to use the little scraper just to make sure that it is stuck on properly. So with these clear acrylic containers, you can see behind the letters if there are some bubbles. And I'm just gonna press just really lightly. You don't need a lot of force or a lot of muscle to do this, but I'm also just gonna try and smooth out some bubbles that I may have created as well accidentally. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do using the same material because I don't want to waste it, and I'm going to do it the same size as well. I'm going to create my meat container, and then I'll do my biscuit container using a different color, and I'll show you which one I'm doing for that. For this font here, I'm just doing my meat label for the container in the fridge. I'm using a very similar font to my dairy one. It's really easy to read and very clear. I'm also just doing the last touches of my sizing, clicking without a mat because that is the material that I'm going to be using for the Cricut. Now my Cricut's just thinking about it. I press make it, then clicking the actual material that I'm using, which is just the writable material. Then again, just waiting for the Cricut to load. I'm putting my materials in, making sure that it's been grouped in properly by the Cricut, and then waiting for it to slide in so then it can start cutting. Woo, it's preparing, let's go. Okay, for my next project, I am doing the biscuit container, and I'm going to use gold So I have used this gold before in a previous project, and this is just kind of my leftover, but I feel like it's the perfect size for a biscuit label. So I am going to need this. I'm also going to need some transfer tape as well. So it's just this one here. So you just use this to take the vinyl from here and pop it on to your acrylic or whatever it is, the project that you're doing. So let's make a biscuit label. Okay, so here is the new biscuit label. Hopefully you can see that there. So I'm gonna pick out all of the little bits. There's probably actually, oh, there's none. So that's good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to get the transfer tape. I'm gonna cut out just what I need, no more. And then I'm going to put it on the vinyl and then transfer it onto my biscuit jar. You do have to use this scraper to get the vinyl that was cut to stick to the transfer tape. So you just have to use a bit of, sorry if you're shaking, but you're gonna have to use a little bit of muscle to use the scraper just so then it connects. So when you peel it off, it's not going to get stuck. Because if you don't do it properly or take your time to do this, it can be a little bit fiddly. So I'm just gonna keep scraping, just making sure I'm doing like all the part of the letters, including the corners as well. Don't forget to do the corners too. Okay, so now I'm gonna really carefully just start to peel the transfer tape off. And if the letters are starting to come away from the transfer tape and it's not sticking, I'm gonna have to go back and smooth them over. Okay, let's give this a try. Okay, so my B looks good, my I looks good. So you can see how it's stuck to the transfer tape and not the vinyl anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna have to just get my scraper again because my T is not coming off as easy as I would like. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Okay, so it'll look something like this for now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my jar. So here's my jar, and I'm going to really carefully, might have to bend my transfer tape a little bit, and I'm going to curl this around. So make sure that I'm happy with where it's sitting at the moment. To me, it looks pretty good. What I might actually do just to make it easier on myself is just cut this bit. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with where it's sitting. It's pretty centered. So what I'm gonna do is just really carefully place with my fingers the letters in the spot that I want. And then I'm gonna get the scraper again, and I'm gonna scrape now the letters from the transfer tape onto the jar. For my yogurt project, I'm going to need the container. a set of these really pretty opaque gel pens, and I'm going to be using the pink because I feel like it'll pop the most in my fridge. And then of course the writable smart label in the color white. For this particular project, I'm going to be using the writable vinyl again. However, I'm actually going to be using pens. So I'm going to be using some gel pens to write the label rather than cutting it out like in my previous projects. So I've just chosen the shape that I'd like, and I've gone for an oval type of shape, just sizing it, making sure that it's the correct size that I want, and then choosing the color that the label is. And as you saw before, the label that I've chosen is white. I then of course have to add in my text, and this is my yogurt label. So again, just typing in the yogurt, and then I need to make sure that the size and the font is correct. I thought that I would go for, not like a super fancy font, but one that's really easy to read and one that I think would look really cool with the gel pens, and that'll make it pop. So the one that I've chosen is BFC Paris Treat. I just feel like this one's a little bit different, a bit more bold, and a bit more fun as well. You can also choose the different types of writing styles that you want. So there's writing, regular, bold. I've gone for regular just because when the gel pen writes, it'll leave the inside of each letter white. So then I think that the pink will really pop. I obviously have to choose that it's going to be a pen and not cut. And of course you have to choose the correct gel pen that you're using and the color. So I've gone for this really pretty pink that you can see. Then I just have to press make it after I've made sure that the sizing is right, that it's in the middle, and that everything looks good. So with the writable label vinyl, obviously you don't need a matte, which is really awesome again. So I've just chosen without matte, again, making sure that the positioning of my label is correct and in the right spot. And then I'm going to make sure that it's the same for the oval too, and I'm going to get that cut first. So let's make it. So here I just have to make sure that the needle is in place, that it's ready to cut, and that I've loaded it correctly. Now that my label has actually been cut, I need to put in the gel pen. So this is the pink gel pen that I'm using. I needed to take the needle out and put the pen in and click it back into place. And all you have to press is just go. It's super easy. It's just like using the needle, but with a pen. And it makes it really fun, something a little bit different. And if you don't have nice, neat handwriting, no worries, because the Cricut can do it for you. The last thing that I really love about these gel pens is that even though, yes, the Cricut can write all of the letters for you, you can also draw some fun shapes after the Cricut has written, which I really love. So I've done like some little flowers, a smiley face, and of course a love heart. Okay, so now that I have done the dairy and meat container, as well as the biscuit one, I'm just gonna fill, it's kind of hard to see it because it's got nothing in it at the moment, but I'm just gonna fill them up and then show you what the fridge looks like after. All right, so here is the biscuit jar. It's not completely full just because I only had one packet of these things, but I really like the gold and how pretty it is. The meat is looking like that. At the moment, we only have bacon that needs to be put in there. And then dairy. So I am going to make a separate yogurt container as well, but just for the meantime, I have just popped my yogurt in this container here. So now I'm just going to fix up the fridge. So I have just put the biscuit tray jar just up there for the time being. In my next video, or in a video like a little bit later, I am going to create like a snack kind of like container and jars there. But in terms of the fridge, like look, we didn't have much in it to begin with, but just these meat and dairy, they just look so much better. And because everything is together, it's so much easier to see what's in each of the containers. Like we've got some cheese, sour cream, yogurt, custard. And then for the meats, we have just some maple glazed bacon at the moment. But obviously these big kind of meat things can't fit in there, but it's just more for your smaller portion type stuff rather than just throwing all of it in. I thought that I would show you just a couple of other things that Cricut does stock and sell before I wrap up this video. So I thought I'd show you about like some of the other color type things that they do have. So they did also send me some pens, which I thought were really cool. And then as well as some, so these are like opal gel pens. They also sell these if you want to use the writable vinyl just to make and decorate a couple of things. So I could use this in the fridge, like on the fridge containers, as well as these ones. These are metallic permanent markers. So there's gold, silver, and like a bronze type color. I really love those. They also sent me this smart vinyl, which I have actually used in my previous Cricut video, but they sent me more of it, which is really great. It comes with 5 different colors. And again, you don't need the mat. The mat. You only need just the vinyl, and you can put it in the Cricut Joy and off it goes. I also have this really pretty pink that you can see here as well. And then of course, some white too. So when I do a couple of the other labels for the pantry, like my snack and like my vegetables and fruit kind of containers, I might use the white, and then I would use some permanent markers just to pretty it up a little bit, or maybe even some gel pens, just so then it's not so bland and white and boring. But anyway, guys, I really do hope that you did enjoy today's video and a little bit of project making with me. If you are interested in purchasing a Cricut Joy, I'll leave all of the information in the description below. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and let me know down below what else you would like to see me organize. I'm thinking of doing a bathroom and laundry kind of, not makeover, but reorganization as well. So leave me a comment down below if you are interested in seeing that. Anyway, guys, I do hope that you did enjoy today's video, and I will see you in a video sometime in the very near future. Bye!